one of which is the world's largest. Automobile parts are made by pouring iron into sand molds. For the multiple casting of camshafts, shell molds are made of sand and resin. The mold is assembled, buried in a bed of steel shot, and filled with iron. The multiple casting emerges from the shakeout, partially covered with the mold material. Hammer blows knock off the gates and risers, leaving only the rough camshafts. They are then cleaned, after which they are inspected and straightened. The shafts are then sent to the engine plant for finishing. In the Dearborn foundry, engine blocks are produced by a complex process in which cores within molds are used to produce the intricate forms. As the block arrives in the engine plant from the foundry, the rough casting weighs 211 pounds. 46 pounds of this material must be machined away, some of it 1/1000th of an inch at a time. The precise final honing of the cylinder walls completes the metalworking operation. During the process, the block has been subjected to a series of critical inspections. An air gauge makes certain that an invisible oil line inside the block has been properly formed. The blocks now move to the engine assembly line. Cylinder bores are inspected and graded with sensitive gauges. The bearings are put into place. These are comparable to the jewels in a watch. Pistons are installed quickly and deftly as the block moves on its way. The assembled engine now goes to the hot test stand where connections are made for coolant and exhaust and for fuel. Electric power is supplied to the starter and this is the fulfillment of the efforts of thousands of workers and suppliers who have helped to bring this engine into being. The longest assembly line in the Rouge is the one where bodies are built. The body shell begins to take form in a welding jig where side assemblies are joined to the roof. The body shell is moved to a second welding fixture where it is united with the floor or underbody. The frame, once a separate component, is an integral part of the unitized body. welding continues in order to form a strong, quiet, friction-free structure. The welding job is finished and joints are brazed. Craftsmen fill the seams with solder, while others grind the welds and braze joints to provide a smooth surface for the paint. The doors are installed and the deck lid is added. After a final check and smoothing of all metal surfaces, the unitized body is ready for its coat of color. The body is first coated with phosphate, followed by a double coat of prime paint and a trip through the drying oven. The primed surface is given a careful wet sanding to eliminate blemishes, and then comes the big moment in the paint spray booth. After baking for about an hour, the car emerges with a hard, high finish that will retain its beauty for years to come. The body continues down the line, receiving its weather stripping, glass, hardware, instrument cluster, and other items, followed by final inspection. Every car made at the Rouge is made to order, either for Mr. and Mrs. Customer or for the dealer's stock. The customer's choice of car, model, color, and other options is sent by teletype to final assembly in Dearborn. And the variety of choices is so great, it would be possible to produce cars all day at the Rouge without ever building two exactly alike. Final assembly begins with the front wheel suspension. The alignment must be perfect. A machine called the Octopus provides a means for quick, very accurate alignment. Meanwhile, on a nearby engine dress-up line, transmissions, fuel pumps, generators, starters, and other engine components are installed. On another line, the rear axle and springs are assembled for attachment to the body. Here come the bodies. And now all the right parts and components, made and assembled in many locations, will arrive at just the right time for the right car, exactly as ordered by Mr. and Mrs. Customer. The completed car is given a careful visual inspection by an eagle-eyed inspector. And the miraculous moment comes when the world's newest automobile springs to life under its own power. The car is tested for headlamp and wheel alignment. The engine, transmission, instruments, brakes, and other parts of the car are given a thorough testing on the roll test machine. The operating components are performing beautifully. How about the body? The water is spraying at 100 gallons per minute. equivalent to driving at 90 miles an hour in a heavy rainstorm. But it's a sunny day in Dearborn. A brand new car, eager to go, is on the way to its new owners, built to order by the men, the women, the mills and machines of this dynamic industrial city, the Rouge.